James Kalm again. I'd like to welcome you all back for another half-ass production. And today we're out here in Bushwick at the exhibition titled On Display. Here at Storefront. Anyway, this is a three-person show. Oh, it's William Pahina. And it was curated by this gentleman, Hrag Vartanian. So we've got here basically two painters. These are a couple of pieces by Cathy and Quinlan. These colorful pieces are by Sharon Butler. And then we've got a sculptor named Joy Curtis who works with glass and mirrors. Now we're talking to Hrag Vartanian, who is also the publisher of Hyperallergic as well as the curator.
Yes.
Tell us about the show. What was your criteria for the show, your idea?
Well, I was told that the summer shows at Storefront were to deal with dialogues, artistic dialogues. So I was really excited to put together artists that you wouldn't traditionally see put together in the same room to see what happens. And I think it actually works really well. We titled the show On Display because it's really a lot about looking, but it's also a lot about the way, the sort of the layers of things that reveal themselves as they sort of develop. So I'm really happy with the way it showed up.
Now, Sharon also is a blogger. She has a blog called Two Coats of Paint. Is there an aspect of some kind of an internet relationship or maybe new media or
with her,
social networking things?
Well, I think with her, the networking is really important. And I think you see that in her sketchbooks. That's why we have a whole process section in the show where it's like sketchbooks, sketches, like smaller work. And I think what the sign she did for the front of the gallery is really indicative, this idea of like it being a network and sort of the interconnectedness of all this. So I think in her paintings it comes through, and I think even in like Cathy's paintings you see this sort of network that develops. It's all about like bringing people together in this kind of different ways and seeing the similarities in their work. Because I don't think the work is that different, and I think once you see the show, you'll realize how similar a lot of the art that's being made is. So I think we need to get beyond some of the old labels we associate with this stuff. So.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hrag. This is Cathy and Quinlan, one of the painters. These are a couple of paintings by Sharon Butler. And this is Brightly Colored Separates 3. And I've been looking at some of Sharon's paintings for a while, and I kind of like what she's doing because she's got kind of a couple of things going here. She's got kind of a more gestural, abstract section, but she's playing it off against some very kind of hard-edged, geometrical, coloristic areas. Well, I don't have a title for this piece, but I assume it's one of the Brightly Colored Separates series. And this kind of gets to what I was talking about of the different tropes of abstraction played off against each other. Finally, put the beer down. We're going to talk to Sharon Butler, who is a painter and also the blogmeister at Two Coats of Paint, right? And so tell us about your paintings and what's happening with the On Display.
Well, you know, Hrag curated it On Display, and I think he did a really interesting job because the work just, you know, you wouldn't automatically think of all of this work as being connected, but somehow it moves from, it has shared ideas, it has like shared roots, even though...
There is a kind of a formalistic side of things, you know?
Yeah.
Hard edges, bright colors, kind of a classical view of painting and sculpture.
And yet, it's not really classical because everybody sort of embraces the fact that there is no perfection.
Thanks, Sharon Butler.
Thank you, James.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we'll take some looks at paintings by Cathy and Quinlan. Well, I've known Cathy for a while, and she used to run a little exhibition space called Temporary Museum of Painting up in northern Williamsburg. But this is her first real public exhibition. This piece is titled Morandi's series, The Glass Bowl. Well, one of the intriguing pieces about Cathy's pieces is that she's really a very classical artist, and many of these are kind of inspired by Morandi, and particularly the etchings of Morandi. And I spoke with her, and she said that his incredible use of cross-hatching in some of his etchings had inspired her to do this whole series of paintings. Well, this is a piece by Joy Curtis, and it's part of her amphibiology series, Mirror, Plexiglass, Acrylic and Silicone. This piece is titled Amphibiology F. Somebody was joking that they were afraid these Bushwick artists were going to come in here and start chopping up their cocaine on top of this.
Can you ask
Joy Curtis.
Can you ask me a question?
Can I ask you a question? Well, I was looking at the work, and I was, you know, I love the mirrored surfaces and things like that. Tell me about what you think about what you're trying to achieve with that, you know, the plastic and the glass and the mirrors.
I want the works to be there and not there. Kind of peripheral, but also present somehow, and maybe confusing.
You know, I looked at them when I was sort of thinking about some kind of a little display case that you might see at a maybe a 1980s strip mall, kind of a nostalgic, maybe a little pathetic feel to it. Does things like that kind of play into what you're dealing with?
Yeah, I like the feeling of vacancy.
That's nice.
I like to see, I don't know, residual stuff from human activities. I don't know, I like experiences of space that are kind of like impregnated with something happened there, but maybe it's
we don't know
not
exactly what it was. Right. All right. Thanks, Joy Curtis.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. So this is James Kalm reporting on Display here at Storefront, curated by Hrag Vartanian with Sharon Butler, Cathy and Quinlan, and Joy Curtis. Thanks, Kate.